Chris D'Entremont is going back to Ottawa.
We've got a lot of work to do as a party. We have a lot of work to do as MPs across this great province.
While the rest of Nova Scotia went red, D'Entremont is the only Conservative in the province who was able to hold their ground. Incumbents Rick Perkins in South Shore St. Margaret's and Stephen Ellis in Cumberland Colchester both lost their seats. D'Entremont said issues in the fishery are what won it for him.
But that far and beyond is the number one issue, and one I think that we're going to have to work on over the next bit of trying to find partners to understand this issue.
Acadie-Annapolis has a history of flipping back and forth between Liberals and Conservatives, but D'Entremont has now kept it blue for 3 consecutive elections. When you count his provincial bids, he's run 8 times and he's never lost. But he says this time it was a tighter race than he was used to. Why do you think he has been able to win so many times in a row around here?
I don't know, because he lives on the French shore and I live near Annapolis Royal, so I don't know what he does.
Well, he represents us well, I think. Even though he's not in government, he still does his best. I like him, and he's concerned about the fishery, which is very important here.
On election night, D'Entremont was focused on his win and his riding. But in a follow-up interview the next day, he waded into a bigger political conversation. There is an apparent rift between Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre and Progressive Conservative Premier Tim Houston. D'Entremont says federal and provincial Tories would be wise to align themselves more closely.
There just seems to be always that question of whether we're actually the same kind of conservative, and really doesn't matter what kind of conservative you are. We're a bigger tent sometimes than what maybe some of the other mainstream parties are, but we all have the same issues at heart, and I think we should be working much closer together.
D'Entremont was deputy speaker for the last parliament. He says he hasn't decided if he wants the job again. Taryn Grant, CBC News, Digby.